Where does the majority of all the goods in America come from right now? This is Victor Davis Hanson, Western Civilization, the Recovery of Greek Wisdom, and Today. And we're just going to watch and listen to what this guy has to say. Very sobering.
Religion, community.
Very, very sobering conversation here.
All of these things, and also public pressures. So if you made money and you were very successful, we said, we're not going to have the government take it from you. There had been efforts to do so in Greece and Rome and in the Middle Ages through this project I talked about, went into Europe in the Middle Ages, and then we had the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, Reformation, and then the French Revolution, American Revolution. But through all this period, we rejected the idea the government can take what you created and say it's own, that you owe it to someone else. There was always an equality of opportunity and not an equality of result. But incumbent on the equality of opportunity that individuals could make better decisions how to help people than the government could. And so So
he's talking about how the American government has gotten way too kind of crazy, and governments and corporations and the whole left culture has become extremely toxic and destructive of America. And we're just going to watch this in its entirety because this needs to be done. It's an hour long from this point out. I'll be doing stop and go commentary. We're going to have a long stream. So if you're a quitter, go ahead and quit right now. Get the fuck out of here. But if you're a winner, you're going to stick around, hit that like button, and let's watch this because this guy is base as fuck, man.
Those together restrained human behavior. And what's happened now is, I think we have created so much leisure and so much capital and so much affluence that what we call poor today is richer than any time in the history of the world. I was talking to a guy not too long ago at Walmart in Selma, and he got out of his car in a brand new Kia. And he was very proud. He'd come from Mexico, and he was showing me all the things on the Kia. And I said, you know, everything on that car has more than a Mercedes did 15 years ago. And then I pulled out my iPhone. I said, I have more power over the world or more information about it than a person with a mainframe IBM that was a billionaire. And so we forget just how much the individual has at his fingertips. And so it's very incumbent that we have these bridles, that we don't abuse it. And we're losing them. And why are we losing them? I'd like to finish maybe with three or four, maybe six if I have time, elements that show you why this Western project is at peril. And some of them are pre-modern. That is, they're not sophisticated. And some of them are postmodern. And they're the cynicism and the nihilism of the elites. The first thing is we're becoming, let's face it, a lot of us are peasants. Until Donald Trump's arrest of middle-class incomes, we had stagnant middle income growth.
He's talking right there. Donald Trump was in office. He was the first president that showed large growth of the middle-class incomes. The elites did not want that. Why? The elites want you poor, stupid, and uneducated. China is enriching their population. There's so much money in China right now. It's ridiculous how much money's over there. America is trying to do it the old school way. Keep you poor and dumb.
We could argue that, I think it's fair to argue that something went wrong when we piled up $1.6 trillion of student debt. Well, we have a whole generation of students that are not marrying in their early 20s, or not having children in their early 20s, or not buying a home in their early 20s, all of the catalysts for conservatism that takes yourself away from the equation. So I have to sacrifice for my spouse. I have to sacrifice for my children. I've got a mortgage to pay. I've got to buy a car. Those kids are out there on the street at Antifa. Every time they get arrested, I read the arrest records, and they pretty much fit a stereotype.
Somebody's asking if I have Cash App. I do not have Cash App, but if you want to send a donation, you can send a super chat. You could send a PayPal link. You can use your credit card to pay with PayPal on that link, too. If you have a debit card, credit card. I appreciate all donations. Believe me, I need them right now.
There's sort of a pajama boy life of Julia Arrested development. And part of it is our society, but part of it is they went to college, they got a student loan for a couple $100,000. The university took no moral hazard. They gave them a therapeutic curriculum that was pretty much worthless. Remember what AOC was before she was a barista? And she was an honor student with a master's. And she thought she was brilliant. She didn't even know what the map of the Middle East was. She'd had a master's from Boston University, and she was very bitter that she had student loans. So the university needs to take moral hazard, but we have weakened the middle class. And I think part of the problem that a lot in the Republican Party didn't see was a confused cause and effect. I'm not trying to excuse the behavior of the lower middle class. We know that in terms of divorce and illegitimacy, drug use, it's epidemic. But that's not necessarily because one day people in 1965 said, I want to take drugs and divorce my wife. It also had something to do that we hollowed out the industrial section of we didn't invest in people.
Where does the majority of all the goods in America come from right now? Where was your iPhone made? Where were your computer parts made? Hell, where the hell were your Android parts made? Where was where was your fucking China ware made? Oh, wait. It was made in China.
The way that we should have. But whatever the causes are, we have kind of weakened the middle class, and without a middle class, you have a peasant culture of people that are subsidized on the bottom and very wealthy on the top.
Kind of like Brazil. No offense to the Brazilians, but you guys know, if you're in Brazil especially, you know.
And in a vibrant society, you have middle-class people who are fluid and becoming wealthy, and we all love that. We don't want to become like Europe, where we have static classes, and most people who are wealthy are inherited classes that have levers of government at their access. The second thing is we're becoming tribal.
I just want to point something out now. This is just for men in general.